Episode 4, Daily Nourishment. I came to the realization that making a joke about the title, about the number of episodes, is not going to work out for me in the long run. Like when we get up to episode 143, don't exactly know how I'm going to make a joke about that one. But as I'm going to say, that's going to be a problem for later. So let's get to it. Today's topic is going to be talking about the greatest female chef. Now, when I was looking into this topic, because I'd thought about, some of the great male chefs, how a lot of the personalities that we see are portrayed as the great chefs, but I don't actually think that the greatest male chef is often given his flowers. But that's a topic for another day. I was looking into the greatest female chefs, and I was getting a lot of names that I was really confused by, like Rachel Ray, Martha Stewart. No disrespect to them, but I think through my definition of what makes a chef, none of these people qualify. So, first off, you're going to want to know what are these parameters, because I think once we've defined the parameters, then we can choose, okay, who fits in and who doesn't. So, the first parameter we're going to talk about is I think you have to own and you have to operate a restaurant. Not necessarily own, but you have to operate a restaurant. This already removes a lot of women from the fold who could be up on a list like this, like Julia Child. She can't be included because Julia Child, although she's hugely influential and had a lot of experience and has shaped the cooking industry forever, I wouldn't say she's a chef in the same way that I'm considering some of these other women to be chefs. So now that we have that out of the way, who are some of the contenders? Well, I was looking at the world's 50 best awards, their individual awards for the best female chefs, and I found that this was a good starting point. However, this also has its flaws because of the way the award works. The world's 50 best, I like to say, likes to spread the field. They like to give these awards out to numerous different people. And the problem with that is you can't actually see who's the greatest over a certain period of time because the award is going to a new recipient every year. That means that some of the recipients of the award undoubtedly cannot at this moment be considered to be some of the greatest female chefs of all time. That's the key word. It's all time here. I have no doubt someone like Daniela Soto Inez could become one of the greatest female chefs of all time. Look at her work at Cozumel. Look at her work individually, now branching out and doing her own deal. But I don't think that you can become the greatest when you're at the age of 31. I think you do have to have some more tenure in the field and have done more to influence the entirety of the cooking space. So there are going to be some names left on this list, obviously, that we can then use. And another criteria that I want to use for this list is that they have to have built their restaurant up themselves. Now, there's nothing wrong with one of these families who have owned a restaurant for a long time, and it's a female at the helm currently. But I think for the greatest, I'm thinking of you started from nothing, you really had to work your way up, right? And even though those female chefs who did get appointed to those roles where it was traditionally a man heading up, I think the challenges they face are very different than a woman who is trying to start her own business and start and bring that up from the bottom. So I think that's why we can't include some great female chefs who could be on your list, but because of my specific parameters, chefs like Elena Azark and Anne-Sophie Peak are going to have to be removed because think about it, they took over a restaurant or they're working currently as Elena is. She's working with her father. And respectfully, I don't think these can be included on this list. And this doesn't leave me with many people left, which is okay. I think that's the whole point of a discussion like this, is to try and narrow it down and look through a lens that we're looking through it. When you talk about different greatest players in sports, it depends on the lens that you look through. There's a reason that in football, for example, it's really hard to talk about greatest players and them not be the quarterbacks. That's why it's best to talk about the greatest at certain positions. So in this case, I may be talking about the best female chef to head up a restaurant. And I think that that would be my greatest female chef of all time. Now, I'm not going to reveal who my greatest female chef of all time is, as I have a full video planned on that where we go in depth for each of the reasoning and we fully outline the parameters that I've briefly discussed with you today. But I want to know before I put out that video, who do you think I will put as my greatest female chef of all time? Who do you have as your greatest female chef of all time? Are there any parameters that I've mentioned that I don't include for a woman to be a great chef that you think I should include? Please let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you for Daily Nourishment 5.